Little did Robinson know at this point that by providing so many details, he was writing his own charging document. Robinson told his roommate that he'd been planning the assassination for more than a week, saying, "I had enough of Kirk's hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out of. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they will have moved on." Robinson then texted chilling words saying, "Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine." Now, the next day, September 11th, after seeing surveillance photos on the news, Tyler Robinson's parents came to their own horrific realization. The man who killed Charlie Kirk looked like it was their son. His mother called to ask where he was. "Homesick for 2 days," Robinson told her. Well, mother's intuition, she didn't believe him. His dad recognized the rifle that police found. It was given to his son as a gift.
Robinson again, delete this exchange. Again, Robinson, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN, not answering.
He eventually did answer. His parents told authorities that Robinson threatened to take his own life, but they convinced him to come over and talk about what he did. Now, later, the suspect told his roommate he'd surrender.
Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
Now, I'm not a psychologist, but just from what we know tonight, we see a young man desperately wanting to prove himself capable of, I guess, some big accomplishment for his lover. The way he writes, his whole thought process, someone who is deeply insecure. Lots of questions, though, were raised by this text exchange, including how was the suspect able to stay near that rifle drop spot for so long, apparently without being noticed? Here with analysis of all of this is George Terwilliger, former DOJ Deputy Attorney General, who was also acting Attorney General. Also with us, Josh Ritter, Fox News contributor, criminal defense attorney. Josh, let's start with you. Now, these text messages, read by that county prosecutor, they appear to happen over the course of 2 days. Does this or would this in any way implicate the roommate? Again, we don't know when the roommate went to authorities, but what could possible charges look like here?
Well, just reading the text messages, there's an argument, I think, to be made for accessory after the fact, and which is interesting because that is nothing that was discussed during the press conference by the DA today. In fact, the DA didn't talk about anyone being under investigation or even the idea of a conspiracy theory of implication, criminal liability being used in this case. So it looks like they believe that Robinson acted alone, and that's who they intend to pursue. But you're absolutely right. When you analyze those, this person, the roommate, the romantic partner, is at least cooperating to the extent of perhaps destroying that note or destroying text messages. My belief is, though, because that roommate is cooperating, he's become a very valuable witness to the prosecution, and they intend to keep him that way.
Yeah, I mean, it just begs the question of whether there were text messages between them before this. They'll find all of this out, of course, George. Do you see an opportunity, George, before we get to the federal charges, your take on this extraordinary text chain that was read aloud today in these charging documents, all of it referenced? What's your takeaway, George?
Well, it's a amazing set of circumstances, and really one that sort of bespeaks on, sadly, Laura, the kind of culture we have today. I mean, this guy was just like totally disconnected from reality. He didn't leave a trail of breadcrumbs to his guilt. He gave a roadmap to his door through these messages and so forth. And I think Josh is right. the roommate's probably a lot more valuable to the prosecution as a witness, particularly as to events that might have occurred prior to this dastardly act.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that he was plotting, as he said in his text messages, George, for a week, and his romantic, partner knew nothing about this. He was just plotting away solo. I mean, something about this whole text exchange seems kind of phony to me.
I've got to say, I don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, some of it seems phony to me. It seems too cute by half, but.
It does, but they'll have to assess that because maybe his reaction really was, I just don't believe he would do something like this. But of course, what he should have done is gone to someone in authority and says trouble is brewing here. But Laura, there's one other point. I think when you were talking about the proceedings and you showed some of the court proceedings in court today, and the nation got to see a lot of it. That's what goes on in courtrooms every day. Contrast that, the due process that's being afforded to the perpetrator of this monstrous act, compared to what he did. That's the root of our culture, is that fairness.
Josh, so in the immediate aftermath of this shooting, this assassination, this video went viral showing a 71-year-old man being detained as a suspect. His name is George Zinn. Now, he was seen yelling that he had shot Charlie Kirk. He later told law enforcement that he did that to allow the actual suspect to flee the scene. He was charged with obstruction. There was also someone charged with child porn possession. I'm not sure if it was the same individual, but your reaction to that, it was a different individual. Your reaction to that, same man, that's what I thought. It was the same individual also charged with that.
It's absolutely sickening that this person, apparently witnesses a man be murdered in front of him, and his first thoughts is to how can I possibly provide cover for him, even to the extent of trying to take responsibility for the crime. It just the amount of deranged mindset you have to have is remarkable. That here everyone else is hiding for cover and worried about their loved ones, and this man is plotting to assist someone that apparently, as far as we know, he had no connection to.
Yeah, I mean, the book has to be thrown at all these people.
Like Taylor Robinson, many people, in USA and abroad, fail to recognize the crucial difference between lawful dispute and violent silencing. A worrying niche believes that if someone speaks or lives differently, they can be punished with force by those who disagree with them. That thinking must change. Disagreement calls for dialogue, lawful action, and when necessary, police intervention, not violence. We need to teach, repeatedly and clearly, that taking the law into your own hands is criminal, morally wrong, and a failure to meet our shared responsibility to human dignity.